Welcome to another edition of Flip the Script on student debt with Joy Sorensen Navarre, president of Navigate.
Hi, John. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. We have some more questions that we would love answers to.
All right, let's hear what you've got today.
So, a question we often hear is I have doubts the public service loan forgiveness program will last due to the new government administration. Should I even bother starting the program or shall I do something else?
You know, it's funny you ask that question, John. When I consult with physicians on their student loans, and we're usually on the phone and computer, sharing a screen, I always start by asking, so what are your goals for the conversation? And over half the time, that's the question that we get. People are really concerned about the public policy risk for public service loan forgiveness. And it's one of my favorite topics because, I'm a former registered lobbyist, and so I'm totally a public policy wonk. So I would say, right now, public service loan forgiveness is current law.
Mm-hmm.
Public service loan forgiveness is part of an overarching huge mega law called the Higher Education Reauthorization Act. This act has been around for over 30 years. Congress takes up this act about once every 10 years to make changes to anything related to higher education, spending, student loans, Pell Grants, Perkins loans, you name it, it's in there.
Okay.
Public service loan forgiveness is one of the programs within that. So it's been quite a while since they've changed that Higher Education Reauthorization Act and updated it. Part of the reason is that a lot of things in that act are very expensive. And we know our dear Congress doesn't like to do things that are unpopular, and often spending big dollars prior to an election year, for example, is not something that Congress is often happy to do. So that's why they don't take it up very often. However, in December of 2017, they took it up. The House of Representatives took up the Higher Education Reauthorization Act, and they had a bill that they were presenting called the Prosper Act. The Prosper Act eliminated public service loan forgiveness if it would have passed,
Gotcha.
for future borrowers after the date the bill would pass. All right.
Yep.
So what I understand from reading the notes and talking to folks on Capitol Hill is that the current Congress really didn't understand the value of public service loan forgiveness, and not only for the individual borrowers, for our greater communities.
Right.
And so we're part of a coalition, called Preserve Public Service Loan Forgiveness, and we're always looking for people to join that coalition. And you can Google preservepslf.com and sign up if you're interested in helping with this. And a lot of conversations were happening all over the country with constituents, with their House of Representative member, telling them why this bill, why this program was so important. Because of the education that was done, and because of some internal workings, the bill to eliminate public service loan forgiveness did not pass. So it did not become law. However, yes, that was good news. It was very good news. We were happy for all of the folks that chipped in and told their stories. But when I look at sort of the context for that decision, what it tells me is, well, first let me tell you what the Prosper Act would have done, the Prosper Bill. It would have eliminated public service loan forgiveness by changing the type of loan that was going to be available for new borrowers. So what is the loan type that is the only qualifying loan type for public service loan forgiveness?
Direct loans.
Direct loans. So they were going to change the type of loan they're going to offer folks to one loans, O-N-E. And one loans, we know, don't qualify for public service loan forgiveness. That's how they're going to get around the current law. So what that meant, it didn't pass, so it doesn't mean anything, but if it would have passed, it would have meant that if you had a child that was going into medical school, for example, after the bill would have passed, they wouldn't have had the opportunity to take out a direct loan, and so their loans wouldn't qualify for public service loan forgiveness. That's how Congress is going to get around public service loan forgiveness. The other thing that it tells me is that most likely they couldn't find a way to eliminate it from the current law. And so more than ever, we're feeling good, feeling confident in public service loan forgiveness for the long haul.
So you feel confident that I should still sign up, get on this plan?
I do.
Awesome.
I do. One of the things I think we should talk about on our next conversation, if you don't mind, our next question
Yes.
is, what does it mean to be on the public service loan forgiveness program?
Okay.
Because really, people can be pursuing public service loan forgiveness, but they're not really applying for the program until after they've met their 120 payments. So we'll talk about that at the next one, so stay tuned, everybody.
Very good.
I guess the bigger criteria for each individual person is, does my career line up with the requirements for public service loan forgiveness? So when we talk to people, I always ask, so are you planning to be in concierge medicine, for example, or to join someone that you know in the community in their own private practice? Are you planning to work with a for-profit health system or clinic? So if the answer to any of those questions is yes, most likely, then public service wouldn't be something that you'd be pursuing because the employment type doesn't qualify.
Sure.